Brodes Media.
What's going on, everyone? Tough one out in Portland. The Sixers kept pushing. Couldn't find a way, though. Unfortunate. Definitely is. Before we talk about it all, if you're new to the channel, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button and hitting the thumbs up button as well. I greatly appreciate all of the support. And real quickly, if you're looking to buy tickets to go to any NBA, NFL, NHL game, use the promo code Brodes at SeatGeek's checkout page. $20 right there for free. Take it. There's no reason not to take it right from my hands. Get yourself to a game. It is a phenomenal idea. And with that being said, enjoy the show. What is going on, everyone? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. The Sixers lose out in Portland, and before we really dive into it, I'm just going to be real open with everyone. If you're tired of hearing me look at the little things in these losses, well, then you might as well just not listen, okay? Because I am fully in the dissection mode of some of these pieces individually based off of the circumstances that the 76ers are in. If that bothers you, I don't know what to tell you, because it's hard for me to demand this basketball team to go on the road and just win a bunch of games when you look at where they are right now without Joel Embiid, without the superstar talent that they have. So, yeah, you know what? That's where I'm at right now. I'm not going to cry and bitch and complain that they're losing. This is what is supposed to happen when you go through this type of mess, okay? And let's just be clear, for the 10 billionth time, this is not a Ben Simmons issue. This is the fact that you do not have Joel Embiid due to COVID protocols. That is the main reason why this team is not operating as smoothly as you would like it to when we think about stretches offensively and things of that nature. Now, I've said it a billion times. I'm just making sure that it's clear, because as time moves forward and you still see losses, sometimes naturally and organically, 5 games ago, it's easy to be in that mindset. After a few losses, you somewhat get lost in the sauce a bit, and you get sucked down this road where your brain gets triggered and you just get upset because you're accustomed to seeing losing basketball and you want it to end. But I see this. I'm objectively analyzing what we have here, and it's a basketball team that lost their MVP of last year, and this makes a lot of sense to me. So with that said, wow, Tyrese Maxey, wow. And honestly, I should start here. The fact that this team continued, they just kept battling and coming close, and it's a 2-point game, and they kept making their runs. End of the third quarter, but Portland had an answer. Portland had a run of their own, or Damian Lillard went off, 39 points, knocked all of his free throws down, found Robert Covington. Ew, he sucks. He's so overrated. He blows, but he made a big shot. They just couldn't figure it out on the road to kind of get the stops they were looking for. I thought Portland kind of went with the mentality of let me attack, let me just go full speed, get to the lane, or I should say drive the lane, get to the glass, and made some buckets there. So unfortunately, the Sixers couldn't come up crucial when needed, but they kept pouncing, they kept fighting, they kept crawling, they kept making runs. It's just, I thought at times their offense got very stagnant. First off, it sucks when Furkan sucks this badly. He played 21 minutes and couldn't even score a damn point. He blows. He's back to blowing. And then you had Seth Curry shoot 3 of 10 from the field. You had a little how do you do from Shake Milton that I thought was on the weaker side all around. And yeah, that's what happens. And then Tobias Harris tries to bail you out with some of this, let's play that physical, slower-paced offense, let's say, and try and win that battle one-on-one with Robert Covington, where I thought what would be best is almost attack with speed, attack with your footwork, attack with your legs, instead of trying to slow the game down and play that style of basketball for Toby. Just didn't love that. And then I see the reaction of fire Doc. Doc is awful. Doc's the reason why you lost this game. I'm losing my damn mind between Flyers Twitter tonight and then seeing that Doc Rivers should be fired for losing this basketball game. It's what goes through everybody's brain? Honestly, I'm not telling you Doc Rivers is the best coach in the entire world by any means, but can we please seriously look at what's going on here? Okay, so you don't want to run through Toby. Fine, I'm with you. I'm telling you, it's not that I don't want to run through Toby, but maybe running through Toby in that way. Okay, fine. Or maybe Tyrese Maxey's number gets called even a little bit more than what it was. I mean, he was ridiculous, 28 points. He shot 9 of 17 from the field, limited shot attempts. Well, I would normally say yes, but this time he got to the free throw line 9 times as well, which is extremely impressive. 9 of 9 from the charity stripe. You're continuing to see him take some strides. So I bring that up to you because, those free throws do play a role in the total shot attempts. Anyway, getting back to my doc point, fine. I'm not in love with the way that Tobias operated the offense, obviously, but what would you like to do? More Tyrese Maxey? Okay, I can get behind that, but I'm just letting you know, it's not as if there's a billion options. Seth Curry, not having it. Furkan is miserable. Shake Milton is what he is. You don't have Danny Green available. Matisse Thybulle is a nightmare offensively, albeit it's his first game back, and I didn't anticipate seeing him being a dog out there. I thought he made some plays defensively at times that wows you, and you go, there you go, baby. There's Matisse Thybulle with his hands, being active, being a pest, creating some plays for this squad through transition and things of that nature. But you look at, sloppiness, offensive. What do you want? What? You don't have a Dame. You see what Dame does out there? I love Tyrese Maxey. You see what Dame does out there? And maybe one day Tyrese Maxey can grow into a legitimate stud that takes over games nonstop and is one of the most efficient players we've seen in quite some time. And hell, guess what? I'd put my money down on that he could be that. I'll put my money down and I'll bet my mortgage that I think he can grow into that based off of his work ethic, his attitude. I love that picture that's surfacing the Twitter sphere of Tyrese Maxey putting in work, LeBron James on the sidelines, and Ben Simmons with this look of disgust in his face. Basically, it honestly looked like he knew, here we go, this kid's got it, I'm screwed. It did kind of have that vibe to it. I just love that. So my point is, you look at the way he played, I'd bet that he can. But I don't know the whole screaming at Doc crowd for this loss. I don't know. Your hands are tied behind your back if you're the coach tonight. And if you're the coach throughout the stretch. When they had their players besides Ben Simmons, they're 8-2 to start the season. Not that I think that they can be an 8-2 team every 10 games, but you saw the difference in what you were able to do and the execution and how Doc Rivers handled that type of scenario compared to right now. I mean, I hate to keep utilizing this catchphrase or this phrase in general, but it is so basic and it describes perfectly what's happening. This makes sense because Joel Embiid is not there right now. That's what it's all about. But I'll tell you what, all right? Tyrese Maxey's legit. Fourth quarter, he was a stud. Prior to that, he's spinning through defenders, and he's making plays happen. He's drawing contact, and he's also kissing it off the glass for the and one. He's knocking down his free throws. So he had so many different variables here in the growth of his game. That's just so beautiful to watch. And let's go back to something that I love to point out every single game to this point. Take a wild guess on how many turnovers he had. Zero turnovers. He keeps the ball in the possession of the Sixers. That is so important to this team considering what's been the knock on this squad for years. Turnovers. They turn it over a lot. The Brett Brown era. It's always been bad. And then, a lot of that maybe is a bit of Joel Embiid because of the lack of spacing with Ben Simmons. And also, sometimes Ben Simmons, not sometimes, it felt like every damn time. Here he is in transition. He pulls up and he leaves his feet and he's trying to look for a kick out. But it ends up being a turnover or I don't know what the hell he does because his brain is just not working when we're playing the sport of basketball at times. But yeah, I mean, that would be a big cause of your problems. The fact that the possessions are staying intact with your team is insanely important. And I loved everything about Tyrese for his 28 points. I also saw a lot from Bassey. I thought Bassey, look, his job is simple. kind of be an energy guy. So that really comes down to work ethic. As long as you're bought into leaving everything out there on the court and knowing that his chances have been very limited to this point, every single second that he's able to run up and down, he's going to give maximum effort nonstop, but set some screens, attack, grab some boards, right? But if you think about what Drummond's been lately, and I really do think the product of Drummond being this poor is the fact that he's logging in so many damn minutes playing against starters nonstop. That wouldn't necessarily be the case with Joel Embiid back playing 38 minutes a night where you're only asking for 10, 12, 15 minutes or so. 38's maybe a little aggressive here in the regular season, but you get my point. I don't think you look at Drummond the same way, to be fair, but is there something to be said about Bassey, who's now, we talked about Paul Reed before. Bassey seems to be making a lot of noise, and Doc Rivers is loving what you're seeing out of him, and I just think that, he had a lot of strong moments out there. Is it possible that he has a legitimate case to at least keep earning, some opportunities? And if he keeps playing at a successful rate, I don't know. Is there just something to it? That's all. I'm not going overboard. I'm not demanding anything. I'm just looking at his usage rate, hearing Doc Rivers, the way that he praises him, and all the confidence in the world that he throws in his direction on what he could be. And I actually, today on 97.5 The Fanatic, I was on with Tyrone Johnson, 9 a.m. to noon on Saturday morning, which we are on every Saturday morning for the most part. I'd say majority. Sometimes things come up, but Bassey, you talk about how great Maxey is, and you think about Texas and coming out of high school. Bassey was highly, highly, highly regarded as a high school player in Texas, above Tyrese Maxey. Like, there's legitimacy to his game, and I'm just looking at Doc. What do we have here? How is he utilized when things come back into tact and things kind of come back into full play here? But yes, the offense was tragic at times. I thought a lot of that was Tobias Harris trying to play that slowed down physical brand instead of maybe attacking and looking at Robert Covington. I thought when he was playing more off the ball and the ball swung in his direction, maybe it looked a little bit smoother when he was making those quicker decisions, something that we've been talking about for a couple years now with Tobias Harris. The less thinking and the faster it is with him, with the ball in his hands, knowing where he's going to go and kind of quickly going through his decision-making is a stronger Tobias Harris. It goes back to, the common theme and the common thought we've consistently talked about is an aggressive Ben Simmons is the best Ben Simmons. Well, a quick-thinking Tobias Harris is the best Tobias Harris, and then the faster-paced Toby is the better Toby. Hunting some three-point attempts and, that style of play where he knows he's going to shoot it before the ball comes to him kind of thing. That's when you get the best brand of Toby. And, every game it's the same thing. Tobias sucks, Tobias sucks, Tobias sucks. That's the natural Twitter reaction after every single game. And to me, it's like I'm tired of having that conversation. The more you bet, shut up. You already know what Tobias Harris is. You're just going to keep, we got it, all right? He's not a player when without Ben and Joel Embiid consistently, you're going to rely on to put up 35, 40 points and go win you basketball games. Well, Brodes, he gets paid that way. I got you. But he also got paid that way because in your mind, you had a superstar in Joel Embiid and then a secondary star in Ben Simmons, and then you overpaid for your third star, which is not a disastrous way to think about things. If the other guys, Joel Embiid's doing just fine in terms of the longevity here of who Joel Embiid has grown into. But if Ben Simmons actually became what he was supposed to be, you're like the Tobias Harris thing isn't even clearly the same conversation as it is now. But I guess I just get frustrated because it's the same thing. Tobias sucks. Tobias sucks. No, he doesn't suck. Is he getting paid more than he deserves to get paid? Yes. But if everything surrounding Tobias was what it was supposed to be, he's not in this predicament. So are we mad at him for being what he is? This is what he is, and this is what he's always been. I'm more disgusted at the corresponding pieces, and the other issue, Mr. 2-5, isn't what we need it to be. So stop taking it out on Tobias. Sure, he needs to be better, but there's always a line that gets crossed. You can criticize a player for not stepping up. You can criticize a player for decision-making when I believe Tobias Harris is better than what he put on display at times against Robert Covington and this team probably should have been operated better through Toby. But once again, it gets taken to this level where, it's like, all right, we got it. We understand where we're at. You want to talk about it for the next 5 years and constantly just say the same thing over and over and over and over and over again? Or at some point, is it just going to be like, this is what it is? Yes, you demand a certain point from Tobias, but anything over a certain line, we got it. He gets paid a lot. Shut up. I don't know. The reaction. I guess social media is really getting on my nerves tonight. Between everything. It was a combination of the double dip when both teams lost. You got both winter sports teams losing, and you got this one. It's late, and maybe it's because it's also past 1 a.m. I'm tired. I got a big day tomorrow. We got the Eagles game. We got the Eagles post-game show. I'm rocking 7 to 10 p.m. on the radio afterwards, so it's nonstop action. Then I got to produce Inside the Birds after that, which, of course, if you don't know, Jeff Mosher, Adam Kaplan, phenomenal Eagles podcast. They do a fantastic job at breaking everything down and giving you your information you're looking for. But I don't know what's going on. The puppy's driving me nuts, keeping me up till 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. nonstop, hitting the back door, having to take a shit every hour in the middle of the night. I don't know. But right now, yeah, I'm in one in terms of the emotional side here of just reading the reaction, which I'm normally not, to be honest with you. Normally, it's like Twitter is what it is. It's filled with dopes anyway. Hell, I'm on Twitter. I got you. I'm a dope at times. I got you. But it's filled with morons who just, their idea of Twitter is let's bitch and complain and let's be stupid. So I know that heading into seeing things on the Twitter sphere. But after 2 months, there's always a day where it just sits you. After 3 weeks, there's always a day where it gets you and you feels different. Today, it so happens to be that day. All right, before we continue, we do have some anytime hotline calls. First, I need to tell you about WinView. Are you tired of getting fleeced by the house? Are you tired of spending time researching players and teams only to end up short? Welcome to WinView. WinView is the only app where skill elevates you over the competition and into the money. Forget about spreads, salary caps, and over-unders. All you have to do is answer questions. That's it. Answer questions about each game. You know how addicting TikTok is? I guarantee that WinView is more addicting than TikTok, and I say that in a good way. It's nonstop. I'm scrolling through the games, NHL, NBA, NFL. There's pregame stuff. There's long-term contests involved. There's live involved. And I'm now fully invested in the sneakerhead lifestyle. Guess what's helping me pay for some of these Jordan 1s? It's making cash on WinView. And right now, they're doubling your deposit bonus up to $100. For all first-time users, your first deposit will be doubled up to $100. That means if you deposit and spend $50, you'll get $100 in bonuses. If you deposit and spend $100, you'll get $200 in bonuses. This is the perfect bonus to take advantage of during the season right now. So make sure you check it out, winview.tv/Brodes. The information is down below in the description. You have to utilize that link, so make sure you do that. And with that said, let's now transition on over into the Anytime Hotline. Here we go.
Brodes, this was a tough game on the road for sure. The defense struggled a bit, but I still like the fight from the team. And once again, in all these games without Embiid, I'm always paying attention to Maxey. And I'll double down on what I said before. We don't need another point guard, a starting point guard. When we trade Simmons, let's get a 2-guard or a small forward. But Maxey's that dude, man. He just gets better every game. Big time this game. And with 7-8 assists with his 26-plus points, steals, he was trying, man. And he hit the big three when he needed to. What, he had 13 in the fourth? Yeah, he's legit. He's legit.
He's definitely legit. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, he had 9 assists as well. He was really dishing the rock around to his teammates. Maybe it would have even been better if some of the guys were able to cash in a little bit. Like 9 assists are good. I'm just saying, you look through of the rest of the team, and, some guys did have some off nights. I wonder, would that have impacted maybe getting to that double-digit lifestyle for sure? The whole thing about, like, I wouldn't trade for a point guard. Like, I'm not ruling anything out, right? Just because Maxey's balling, maybe Maxey could be the primary guy, and then that point guard who you bring in plays more of a combo two guard, or maybe you can move Maxey off to play combo guard, and you have two guards that can operate the offense at the same time. That wouldn't be a disaster. So my point is, like, I'm not ruling anything out. I'm not limiting what we trade for now, where now it's only specific positions. If you want to move Ben Simmons, and it so happens to be where one of your options that you clearly are limited with saying yes to anyway happens to be a point guard, we can't make the pool of options even smaller than what it is because Maxey's balling. So, you can play him off the ball, and you can kind of maybe play whoever it is that comes in off the ball and find unique, creative ways to go about things. I'm not limiting my return just because of that, but I am giving Maxey the opportunity to continue to grow and play and log in a lot of minutes and be this strong. I mean, he was a fourth quarter warrior. I loved his ability to get to the free throw line. That's been a knock. And what's crazy is, sometimes when you point out you need to do better in this area, it doesn't happen so quickly. Now, the referees sucked in this game. They were piss poor. They were miserable. And that was all around, whether it's Doc Rivers getting fired up because of how things were called on Tobias Harris being bothered. And everyone was all sorts of frustrated with the referees tonight. Typical NBA night at the office. But I bring that up because, Maxey getting to the charity stripe and all, but how often do you see something that's so clear and obvious? Like, hey, Maxey's so good in a lot of areas, but something he needs to do, whether he needs to bulk up, whether he needs to, and I'm not saying he has done that to this point. That's more of a long-term style of mentality and a gain for Tyrese Maxey, but just getting to certain areas, drawing contact, put yourself in a position where NBA refs do call you. There is a craft and an art to drawing the fouls and making sure the referees do call it, knowing their tendencies and things of that nature. Think about how quickly we're kind of shifting here. It's pretty remarkable that it's happening so soon from the early parts of this season is kind of what I'm getting at here. And yeah, it's great. And I love the fact that you kind of have the same mentality as me, which is without Joel, you can argue and cry and do whatever you want that they're not winning a lot of games without Joel. To me, it's almost like I'm individually analyzing what these players are right now because that's all I can do. It would be unfair for me to have these expectations of dominance when you are down who you're down right now. And yeah, Matisse is getting back, and you're starting to get back from the COVID list. Tobias came back, so it's slowly starting to happen, but your bread and butter is the big man. And without the big man consistently, you can talk about all these other players on the roster all you want. Why isn't Seth Curry playing as well? Well, because of the two-man game, because of the big fella, because of the impact of what he provides and all the attention he draws, and the double teams that are consistently going his way, which opens up the rest of the floor for him to kick out and find a wide-open guy for three. That matters. That's important, and that's why at times this offense is not working the way that you would like it to. And then when maybe they don't double, you face up, you jab step, you hit the jumper, or you get fouled while someone swings his arms through and you do the classic basic Joel Embiid and you get yourself to the charity stripe and you knock down your shots. There's so many things that he does and incorporates to this team that is the reason why they're in this little rut that they're in right now. Whether you like it or not, and it's not an excuse. That's another thing I can't stand here. Oh, you're making excuses. Stop. I've been doing this long enough. It ain't excuses. It's reality of the situation. Two different things. It's next.
Well, bros, the Sixers fall short in Portland by a final score of 118-111. I mean, if you're watching the game, the Sixers got really effed over by the refs tonight. I mean, I swear, there could have been at least 12 or 15 calls that were blatant non-calls or blatant calls that should not have been calls. Like, I bet you the refs had some money on the Blazers tonight. But anyway, back to the game. Maxey, he had 28. He was phenomenal. He had a great fourth quarter. I love him when he has the ball in his hands and driving to the basket. He always gets fouled or gets a layup. He's great with that. And I think he got Harris. I think he had 26 or 28 as well. he was pretty phenomenal, but he had 5 or 6 turnovers.
Yeah, see, I don't think Toby was as strong. You could talk about the stat line and the early start and all, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't label this as a Tobias Harris game that I'm thrilled with. But it is crazy to think about. It's fascinating. If we were watching and forced to watch this style of basketball without Tyrese Maxey playing this way right now, it would be so damn draining. It would be so damn toxic. It would honestly be, and I don't think I'm going too overboard here, but it would be unwatchable. I don't know if I'm staying up till 1:30 in the morning to watch them play against Portland if Furkan Korkmaz or Seth Curry or Shake Milton are being the guys that are running your offense completely. I mean, it would be miserable. The reason why I'm this entertained and I'm this excited, I like Bassey, all right? But he's not why I'm tuning into this bad boy. It's Tyrese Maxey, and he's the one that's moving the needle for us so much right now that we're just taking to this next level of, damn, the long term of what Tyrese Maxey can be. I know you see all these numbers and only X amount of guys have put up the amount of points he has in his starts and all this and all that, and Allen Iverson. I'll tell you what, when I look at the work ethic of this kid, and it kind of relates to a Jalen Hurts. Now, I think Jalen Hurts has a little bit more, I don't know if swagger is the word. Like Tyrese Maxey seems more of like a younger kid, excited to be there, smiling, happy. Like Matisse Thybulle, for example, right? I don't doubt that he works hard and all, but there's something about like he's smiley, he's happy, he's excited, right? Like, I think Jalen Hurts has more killer and more, like, mean fit. And maybe, I'm not talking about, I think internally maybe the same level of killer is in there, but I'm talking more from the outside perspective, more of the view. Jalen Hurts will give you that killer look, while Maxey will give you that smiley, cheesy, happy to be here, but I still have that killer mentality in me. He definitely has that dog, and that I'm ready to go to work, I'm ready to compete, I'm ready to, every single practice, put 9,000% into it, study the film, see where I need to get better, work on every little angle to my game, tweak all the mechanics in my game. Let's get to the fundamentals, and then from there, explode. Both of these athletes right now in this city really do have that awesome approach to their game, and with that, it's kind of remarkable to watch, and it's really fun to embrace that journey. There's a part to me that I love studying and seeing that over a period of time. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen with the snap of your fingers. There's sort of a window that has to play out here, but game in and game out, show me, prove to me, let me see it. And that's what I'm kind of witnessing right now. And there is value in that for me. There is excitement in that for me, whether you win or lose. And at the end of the day, yes, I want to win a bunch of basketball games. And that's where my mentality is. And that's what I want to see. I want to see winning basketball. At the same time, from a different layer here, I can still just study Maxey for Maxey and who he is. And I mean, come on, this is an incredible journey. And if you're not embracing that just because the team is losing, well, then shame on you, because there is something to that. As a Sixers fan, there's something to be said about what he can be longevity-wise, and that matters. That matters. So, yeah, I get it. Short-term thinking, you're losing. Long-term thinking, what do you have here? You have a star in the making, a star, to fulfill whatever 25 gave us? I think so. I do think so. All right, before we end it here, I need to tell you about D. Simone Jewelers. They are my jewelers. I got my fiance engagement ring there. I'm going back for Christmas. Hopefully she's not listening. She's definitely not. They're a family-owned business located in Haddonfield, New Jersey, previously in Jewelers Row. Will, Lou, Nick, Mike. It is the best experience I've ever had in my entire life. They work with you to get the best design at the most reasonable price you will find in the market. Custom jewelry design, jewelry repairs, appraisals, watch repairs, diamond setting, jewelry cleaning. Make sure you go in there and tell them that Brodes sent you. They're so damn passionate about it, which is what makes it so awesome. They sit you down, they teach you about the diamond, they show you the why this quality is better than this one. It's really remarkable the way that they embrace you, and they want what's best for you. You're not just someone, hey, let's make a quick dollar. No. They are, I can't even explain it to you. Their passion. You see how I scream nonstop every day about the Sixers, Flyers, Eagles, Phillies? Now just close your eyes and think of people who embrace that level of passion and apply that to jewelry. It's the best experience I've ever had in my life, and I'll never go anywhere again. D. Simone Jewelers. Head over. Check them out. Information down below in the description. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't. Once again, let them know that Brodes sent you. And with that being said, we're going to end things here. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Sports Talk with Brodes, and I will see you next time.